Today I am joined by Isabella Cini, Interior Design Manager at Melbourne-based architectural interior and development firm mckimm. With a background of study in environments, architecture and urban design and planning from the University of Melbourne, Isabella brings a thoughtful, holistic lens to residential interiors, shaped by early influences in a home where design and transformation were ever present. At mckimm, Isabella is known for creating spaces that feel harmonious and intentional, balancing simplicity and form with depth and detail. Her design philosophy is deeply rooted in the respect for architecture. She seeks to echo structural materiality and light in every interior she crafts, ensuring cohesion between the bones of a building and the spaces people live in. Isabella isn't just about aesthetics. She champions design that enhances well-being, thoughtful layouts, sensory experiences, and a subtle but powerful use of texture, light and space, turning houses into calm living sanctuaries tailored to each client's story. We talk about her pathway into interior design and what inspires her to keep redefining interior standards in Melbourne's luxury design scene. Isabella, welcome to Her Design, Her Story. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
It's very exciting to sit and have a chat to you.
Yeah.
You have had some wonderful and dynamic experiences since you graduated from the University of Melbourne about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I think you started in a similar pathway to me with a little bit of architecture study before moving across to interiors.
Mm-hmm.
You've carved out an incredible role at mckimm, which is really exciting. But before we delve into all things mckimm and current career pathway, can you tell me a little bit about that first journey for you when you finished school?
Yeah. So during school, I did fashion as a subject, and actually we only was able to do that till about year 10, and I fell in love with it. And that's where I first realised how much I love design and creating things. You always had art as a subject in school, but fashion, you got to actually make something and you got to make whatever you wanted. And then that finished, I was able to do art in year 11 and 12, and I absolutely loved art. But I guess in year 11 and 12, they're talking to you about career choices and which direction you want to go in, and I think everyone can admit that it's such a daunting, hard question.
Yeah.
We don't know what jobs are out there. Like, there's a few that you could say on your hand that are just like the typical ones that you can think of, but I definitely didn't know interior design was a career or really a job at the time. So I was thinking about doing fashion, and I am glad that my family sort of told me it'd be great, but it'd be a hard career path, and so much admiration for designers out there, but it is tough, especially if you want your own brand. So I thought perhaps maybe architecture would be a way to be creative, but there seemed to be a lot more career options. And at the time, my family were in the sort of building property world, and they said that would be a good idea. So I got straight into it. But I got into Melbourne Uni, which was a huge goal of mine.
Yes.
So I was very happy with that. Mainly because of the architecture. I think just the buildings there were beautiful, and I fell in love with it as soon as
It's a great campus.
saw it.
Yeah.
It's so pretty, and all the cute cafes around. So it was fun to be there. I actually started in urban design and planning. I don't know why. I thought maybe that was a good career path. And then within a year, I changed to architecture, and I absolutely loved it. There were definitely parts that I hated. And, it was a great course learning about the history of architecture, and they took us to job sites. We learnt about construction. We learnt about design and the modern movement, and that was amazing. There were definitely parts that you probably had as well. You're working with like robots and algorithms. There's some really strange parts to the degree, which to this day I've never had to come across.
I think it was that similarly to you, I always loved that sense of creativity and creating something, and I think construction technology was not a strong point for me. The more engineering, mathematical
essay
side.
Writing, they make you write these essays. That's not my strength. Was great at the studio classes. But so did my course back then. It was actually called Bachelor of Environments. Now they've changed it to, which was a bit strange at the time. Now it's Bachelor of Design. So yeah, I loved it. I did want to get out of uni as soon as I could, though. I just really wanted to start working, and because at the time I was able to get some part-time work in the industry, and I was loving that. So.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that's sort of the start of it all.
Did you have anyone, you touched on your family being a little bit in construction and property. Was there anyone immediately around you when you were growing up that had that really creative side to them, which maybe influenced you as well? Yeah,
Mum definitely. And Mum also introduced me to fashion. She's Italian, has always been, had great style, and she introduced me to fashion and design from quite a young age, and art. She loves art, so we always had a lot of art in the house. And from a young age, I remember her always redecorating or renovating, changing like wallpaper, because when, in the 2090s, there was some bit going on. She wouldn't do that now. She was doing back then.
I think wallpaper's making a comeback. Yeah.
Some cool stuff. And actually I never really knew this about myself at the time, but in the later years, I've realised that this all started a long time ago for me. As a kid, I would ask Dad to put, Barbie murals all over my walls, and I always had crazy doona covers. And then as I got older, my room was like an installation of a theme of whatever I was into at the time, and they let me do it. Looking back now, I'm like, wow, you let me like tack up. I would have like rainbow streamers coming down and flowers and posters, and then I'd be over that and it'd be something else.
I feel like one of my daughters is going through this at the moment, but it's kind of fun to feed that passion a little bit.
Totally. And now I always think, like, if I have children one day, if they want their room to be like some crazy jungle, just do it.
Yeah.
Because it's a creative outlet, and it was so fun. And I feel like now our profession is that, but just on a bit of a different level. So that's why I love what I do. So definitely my parents, and they are the ones that did sort of encourage me to maybe, they said, why don't you look at architecture? Why don't you look at design? From when I was in school, actually, I was super lucky. I got to do a week work experience. We've started taking on work experience kids now as well. They're around 15 or 16.
Oh, wow.
I did a week with McKimm.
Oh, amazing.
And that was, but still at the time, I didn't really understand like what that job was and what a career was. But I loved it. That was such a fun week. She made up a little project for me to do, and I just thought it was the funnest thing ever. I think because it was so fun, I didn't think this is work. This is a job. And then, you go back to school and they're not telling you, there's no class on interior or architecture. So so I'm lucky I had some older people at the time that helped guide me.
Yeah, I think it's interesting actually. I remember thinking that walking through Carlton one day, and I saw the window displays outside RMIT for visual merchandising, and I remember thinking, oh, is that a sort of a career? There are things like that where I was like, of course it is. But it's that kind of justification sometimes as well, which can be hard coming through school, which is quite linear.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So
with your time with McKimm, did you then go back and work there a little bit when you were studying as well?
Yeah. So I was in the middle of my degree, and I asked her if we could get a coffee, and I think I just wanted to touch base with her and get some career advice, because I was studying architecture again, because Melbourne as well, it is a very academic university. Yeah. Even back then, there wasn't a design degree; it was environments, which touched on all these other majors you could have done, but the architecture was just a small part of that, and there was no interior design. I think it is quite different now as opposed to some of the other universities that are more focused on design. So I was still confused then. And we had a great chat, and she must have said, well, why don't you come in a day a week? It sort of started there. Amazing. And just help the girls out. So even things like helping sort, I didn't know what a material library was, and she sort of introduced me to that, and I started learning about what different products were, and just helping organise that. The first thing I've ever designed, and I'll never forget it because it made me realise, whoa, there is so much to understand about like millimetres. It was just a rack for them to be able to put their sample board trays into. Yep. So it was just a shelving unit, but it had to fit these trays perfectly. And I was like, whoa, this is so confusing. And I would have been, maybe 19 at the time, and I'll never forget it. And then it was built, and I was so proud of this shelving unit.
Yep.
Yeah, so,
Oh, that's amazing. So how long were you at MIM for? Was that just while you were studying? Or
Yes.
did that then continue into a sort of first interior design job?
That was about a year and a half while I was studying. And then I finished my degree and I went to Germany. I got an internship with a startup architecture firm there, which was really cool. So they were these young guys. They were actually, so this is now, I don't know how many years later, maybe 9 years later, the company's still going, and they were producing cabins, so eco-friendly cabins.
Oh, wow.
That they were trying to promote could be put onto rooftops in Germany and in Berlin. I was living to use rooftop space, and that could be built and easily maintained near lakes and rivers in the countryside. And they were trying to promote eco-living and tiny living. And so I was part of, helping them start up and part of the prototype design and going to conferences with them. It was really cool. So I was there for a while, and then when I came back, I got the job with mckimm.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So was it a little bit of that taste of time perhaps with MIM and seeing that more interiors process that led you to moving more into interior design role?
Yeah. Working at MIM and seeing what they were able to do, and that was when I was completely opened up to the world of interior design. And I remember I went on a photo shoot day with them once, and so I could see that for the finished product and watched them style the shoot and just thought, this is incredible. For me, it was like, wow, this is like the fashion that I wanted to do, but now in a built environment, which straight away I just thought was 10 times better. Like I just loved it because you get to live in it. So that appreciation, I mean, you also live in fashion, but then I really decided that I didn't want to do my master's because that was something I was thinking about doing purely to get registered and to go down that path. But I was so excited to just keep working because I had a taste for it that I didn't want to go keep writing essays, which I wasn't good at either. So
takes I was a certain headspace.
This isn't for me. So I was really lucky that then found the job at mckimm straight away, really close with everyone. Like they've always been such a great team of people, and the projects were amazing from day one as well. So I got straight into interiors there, and I do remember asking one day, sort of mentioning, I studied architecture, right? Like, am I just going to be an interior designer now? And I sort of just rolled with it and didn't want to go back into the architecture part.
Oh, that's amazing. So McKimm's quite a unique company in that they do the build component as well. Can you talk a little bit about like a sort of a typical interiors project, sort of a little bit from start to finish, and how that integrates through the team? Yeah,
so most of our jobs are design and build by mckimm. We do some renovation work and some work for other builders if it's interstate, but the most typical process is that a client's come to mckimm, and our head architect Lorenzo and Danica has created the masterpiece. So the floor plans, the house, how it relates to the site, and it's got the entire brief in it.
Yeah,
we come on as interior designers through that journey, but more so once that house design has been sort of signed off, and then we take a new brief for the interiors. So we have a handover from architecture and interior design. So I ask, Lorenzo or Danica the questions of, are there any key materials that you want to hero on the facade that you want to come through the interior? What's your general vibe of this project? So, which is really nice because the interior is always evolving from that architecture that's been set, but sometimes it does go in its own complete direction if the client has a different idea. So it's a lot of fun taking that whole new brief and then building up that model and that home, and then right through to the end, documentation, going to site with them, furnishing the home, and
Yeah, that's amazing. And I guess there's such strong overlap really between architecture and interiors to a point, and having that base building knowledge is probably a very valuable.
Very, very valuable.
Yeah.
It does make the process a lot more cohesive. And then on top of that, the fact that we're dealing with our own builders means that, I mean, I've got a great relationship, we all do, with the boys that are on site. You know, you can hear about, design and build like clashing, but we're just so lucky that we're all friends and we go through everything together, every detail together. So it's quite nice.
Yeah.
And we learn off each other. And I can tell that, you know, our builders, they get so excited by design, and vice versa. We actually get excited by the construction, and if there's a detail that has to be figured out on site, we're in it together. No one thinks it's too hard or can't be bothered.
So much more helpful. I've had that on a project recently with some great builders, and I think, you know, sometimes when the details are a little bit tricky, I'll just put some notes, discuss on site with the builder.
There's something about being on site compared to doing it on your computer.
Yeah, but it's great. And then you can kind of take that away for the next project. You're like, okay, we figured that out.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
There's a really, you need those strong relationships to make a really good end result, I think.
And they're so talented, and, you know, the way they look at something can be so different to the way we look at something, because they know how it's going to be fixed, or they know how it's so it's good, it's great teamwork.
Oh, that's good. So are you mainly working in residential, or you do multi-res as well?
Single res. We have in the past done some multi-res for ourselves. mckimm did a few developments in Brighton, which was cool, but otherwise our only commercial space at the moment is, I don't know if I can say too much, but it's in Dubai.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Under construction.
Still in design. It's a
amazing.
Restaurant.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah, we'll share more, but it's very cool. So that's been fun. And it's the same client that we've done a bit of residential work for now. So he's come to us for his new business. Yeah.
So your office in Melbourne, do you work on projects Australia-wide from the Melbourne office?
Yeah, Australia-wide. Even now in Victoria, we're doing a few more on the peninsula. It is still heavily Brighton, which is great, because if you need to go to site, it's 2 minutes from the office.
Very close,
It's very close. But yeah, a few interstate, Byron Bay, Sydney, WA. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Tassie as well.
Yeah. And
I love that especially even the ones on the peninsula, the brief is quite different. Or they're not different. There's still a mckimm home, but depending, I think, on your location, maybe it's a bit more beachy or a bit more earthy. Yeah, different aesthetic, different. It might be a holiday home, so it's a different brief.
Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. Touching on your role at mckimm, you have obviously worked your way up and now in a senior interior design role, which is amazing. Can you talk a little bit about your sort of day-to-day operations in your role? Do you have a team that work underneath you, alongside you?
Definitely beside. Yes. So I started there as a graduate.
Yeah.
But we've always, it's been a great place to work, in the sense that we've always been a really close team, and you've always been able to take on a lot of responsibility and I suppose creative freedom that's always been overseen and guided by our seniors and our mentors. But I think as the business grew and workload grew, and our project scopes grew, I was able to also grow with that. So I was given more responsibility and able to, you know, run things, and always obviously working very closely with my directors and my team. So I do have. There is a team of interiors at the moment. It's fluctuated a bit over the years. We are expanding now at the moment, which is exciting. So I suppose my involvement from start to end would be a really close relationship with the clients, and coming on from that initial concept and developing the design, and then assisting with it being delivered to site and making sure all the details are there. But again, that's why it's so great having our builders, because they're across it too, and they want the best result as well. So
and I guess from that budget management, and you know that's often quite a hard thing these days, I think, is sort of forming relationships with builders so you can, as I call, value management.
Oh yeah, the value, the VM. We don't like that word. No, it's always necessary, and it's definitely fair enough. But another part of what we've been doing a lot more of lately, which I am mostly involved in, is the furniture and the styling aspect of the business.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think we were finding clients were moving into their homes and bringing their old furniture that just wasn't working anymore. So we started offering this service now of, let's just refurnish the whole place for you. You walk in, it's done, and it's all beautiful.
Sort of turnkey concept.
Yeah, and they love it, and it's and even for us, it shows the product a lot better at the end when it's been thought about right to the end of the artwork, or you know the dining table that actually fits the space properly. So. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. And often, in that sort of concept design stage as well, where you're drawing things in plan, you can be a bit true to what you're actually designing a space for.
And then it's fun because we do a lot of custom pieces as well, because some of the scale of the homes that we do, a standard dining table, for example, doesn't fit. So we work closely with some local manufacturers and we build whatever needs to be built. So it's fun. It's just a whole other layer of the design process. Furniture design is I think really cool. I love the whole spatial planning of what we do, and joinery design, and those fun key elements of, you know, making a home personal. But furniture's awesome.
No, it's that other, I guess, scale level of detail.
And getting to go around to the furniture stores, and like I went to the Milan Fair a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
It's like, this is just insane. There is so many amazing designers out there.
Yeah, there really are. It's a bit overwhelming.
It is actually. I was like, oh God.
Too much
just
choice.
made it harder.
You touched on the students' placements that you're doing now at mckimm. How does that work for the younger students coming through?
It's really sweet, actually. I think they must choose an industry or something, and then they find a place that will take them for the week. And we always give them a small project to do, like your dream home, make a mood board. Some are so talented. Well, actually, they're all quite talented. I think they're so fresh in what they're, you know, in their creative journey that. Which, do you remember back then it was like you'd had no other influence because you hadn't
budget,
really seen, you hadn't seen much. So you kind of just, you go with what's in your mind and you just go for it. And we say, you know, go show us what your dream home would be. And it's purely them. It's not really influenced by all this other stuff because
magazines, designers,
so that's fun. And they always say they love it and they want to come back one day. So I love showing young people that this can be your life, because I had great mentors. So I always try to give people that, you know, just that help and that guidance.
And a positive first experience.
Yeah, I had a lot of, especially when I was at MIM, because there were so many women there. The team was, it was there was quite large, and I still speak to them. You know, like they were my mentors at the time, and I looked up to them so much as these these just really cool older girls that were just so creative, and it's nice to see.
Good.
Yeah, so hopefully like we give that to the younger people as well.
Yeah. Before we move on, I just wanted to come back to a more personal question, I suppose, in terms of reflecting on what you've achieved at mckimm and your role there now. What are some key strengths that you think you have that have enabled you to create this incredible space for yourself at the moment?
I think probably the first thing I would say, besides relationships with my team and us, you know, getting along so well, would be a bit of resilience. I think especially being a woman in construction. I mean, I am lucky that the build team has been on our side the whole time as well, but being able to bounce back from, you know, maybe something going wrong on site, or maybe you think someone not part of your team has spoken to you, you know, outside of the workplace, bit more stern, which maybe as a young woman could be hard. But I think, that's one thing that I've never taken anything too personally or personally at all. So a bit of resilience, and then I guess drive, I suppose, and but also excitement. I think of just I find
joy in what you're doing.
So exciting. Everything's so fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and we've been really lucky that the projects have been so great. But even like when something like nothing's mundane, just finding I think I'm quite a positive person, I think, because I'm a Sagittarius, if anyone is into that. But it's something that I've realised I don't even really try hard to be, but seeing the positive.
Which is important because I think particularly when you're doing something creative, but also it then feeds into those relationships. And I think it's often reflected then to clients. And
and that's the
how
thing,
people
enjoying the client relationships as well.
Yeah.
You get to meet all these cool people and they've all got a great story and then having really great relationships with the team. I think being a team player, we all are. That's what, everyone that I've been working with for, I think the least amount is 5 years. So it's been the same people.
That's incredible longevity.
Yeah. We all work very well together and respect each other, and that 100% is I think the key to a sustainable team.
Yeah, and a lot of that's the stuff that you can't teach. I think that's a bit of intuition.
It is. It's just lucky how that's fallen together. There's no egos, Yeah, it's just nice.
No, it's good. You always want a happy workplace.
Yeah, exactly.
I also wanted to touch on something that you founded a while ago, which I mentioned to you before. I'd come across, and I hadn't actually realised that this was your platform, which is amazing. Is the Platform One business that you have on the side.
Yeah.
A wonderful championing of the design industry. Can you describe a little bit about the premise of that platform and when you started it?
Mm-hmm. So I started that quite some time ago now. It hasn't always been what it's been. So maybe 8 years ago, I would just sit on Instagram and I would see really cool clothes or anything, but it wouldn't be tagged. So I was like, I'm going to make an Instagram page with just cool stuff, but I'm going to say where to get it from.
Yeah.
And it just blew up. It was at the time where Instagram algorithms, I think if you put a hashtag, it would
changing.
Go. I know. If it didn't change, I'm sure I'd have a lot more going on. But so it started as me just wanting to have this page that championed a random designer from, the Netherlands doing pants with stars on them, something like that. But then it kept growing, and then one day I decided I'll just make a little website and I'll put profiles of the designers on there. And then it turned into, let's do some blog posts, let's interview them, let's make this more of a community.
Yeah.
Then so the page would just naturally grow, and I'd just post things every so often, and I'd have a lot of fun discovering new brands. So this was also my fashion outlet.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't in it. Then my dream was to always have a market, which I think it was it was like right after COVID, because I remember people started to wear masks or semi during it. Finally hosted a market, and this was a good friend of mine too at the time. She was helping me. We were sort of doing it together, and so I got a bunch of local designers. It was called like Local Designer Market, and we hired a space just off Chapel Street, and everyone set up their stalls, and it was great. Like, so many people came. I was so nervous. I sort of said, if one person comes, I'll be happy, as long as it's not just my mum.
Yeah.
And it went really well, because also I think at the time, post-COVID, no one had been doing anything. Everyone had been locked inside, and it magically just aligned with this time of everyone getting really into local manufacturing again, and just championing Australian design. So at that point, it shifted a bit as well to becoming more about the markets and about slow fashion and local manufacturing, even though it is hard for all the brands to maintain that because it's more expensive.
Yeah.
So then I ended up doing a couple markets since then, and now I'm actually, when I can in my spare time, I'm updating the website again. So I've told everyone, stay tuned. I've got a great team of people that are, because I was always doing it myself. So I was quite limited in the tech side of things. So now I'm getting some help, and an awesome new directory is coming soon.
Oh, amazing.
So now it is more about a functioning directory for people to use to discover the brands and industry-related people. So when I get time, that's
amazing. Oh no, that's really
it's
interesting.
really fun, and I love hearing people say how much they use it and how much they love it. And they think it's this whole like team of people. And I go, it's just me. I'll get back to you soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's always been a fun outlet.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, and tying into that fashion interest as well,
Yeah.
which is very cool.
Yeah.
Continuing, I guess, on the sense of inspiration and outlets of ideas, obviously as creatives, we're always looking for things to keep us motivated and inspired. Are there any designers, architectural, interior, fashion that you particularly look to for inspiration?
Yeah, I think lately I've been really into, I can't remember all their names, but Belgian designers. They're unless it's just like this weird algorithm I found, but really earthy, muted tones, natural textures, which through my whole career as well, like I get so excited by different designs and different spaces, and you see so much that I've sort of been asking myself lately, what do I truly love and what is my aesthetic, and what if I was to build my dream home, or when I really am encouraging clients what to do if they don't know, what am I really telling them? And I think it is that I do love that earthy, minimal. If something's emulating nature, I think that's the way to go. Well, personally, that's what I think anyway. Yeah. That's just what keeps me calm. Like and that's what I've found a lot of the Belgian designers are doing at the moment. Everything's really like deep brown tones. And but in saying that, I've been trying to not look so much on Pinterest in all the magazines and the articles, because I felt like I was getting overwhelmed. And as a designer, I almost am starting to, because everything's so great as well. You go, oh, should I do this colourful, amazing rainbow bathroom, or do I like that minimal one? And you go, hang on a minute, I need to just come back to
that was me yesterday.
Because
very overwhelming.
It becomes overwhelming. And then that's what I was saying before, when you first enter the industry, and this is the me I'm trying to go back to now, is you're inspired by all you know and all you have seen, which at that time was a little bit of travel, a little bit of magazines. I didn't really know many designers. Or you might see a cool vase and you like a shape on it, and then that can inspire an entire kitchen design. So trying to just step back a bit and get off social media, and because when I go on Instagram, it's all design. I don't even know what my friends are doing. I follow way too many design pages. So I think lately I'm trying to just look at my immediate surroundings a bit more, and even back in my own archives of travel and things I've taken photos of. Yeah,
travel's always a big one.
Yeah. But if I am like proper stuck and I want to go in and look at, like, Kelly Wersler's done some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, sometimes it's just it's pleasant to look at those projects. Though I sometimes think, the reality for projects in Melbourne maybe not always that end of the spectrum.
And that's the other thing, it gets you so excited. You see something designed in Italy, like Vincenzo De Cotti.
Yes.
Yeah, and he does the most incredible work.
Yeah,
but I don't think I'm going to get that into a project.
I know, sad. No, it's good to keep motivated though.
Yeah.
And interested for sure. Obviously in line with work and your platform business, I'm sure very busy. Are there any other ways that you sort of try and structure a bit of time for yourself alongside work? It can be quite easy, obviously, with design jobs to be very sort of consumed in what we're doing.
Yes. And with Platform One being a side project, it is one of many of mine. I feel like I start and stop a few things because I always love, like, I'll have an idea and like, let's do it. And anyway, so when I'm not being too crazy with work-related things, I'm trying really hard. And this has evolved over time as well, like at the start of my 20s compared to now. Just trying to be a lot more wholesome. And like, I love Pilates. That's my me time, no screen, just, move and not sit like tied at a desk or anything. My partner and I love cooking. He's a great cook. So just those like moments where everything's still, and I find that that's where as well that recharges your creative self. I think when you're tired, you get really stuck, and when you're just sitting there and you daydream and then an idea sparks, and it's almost, I think that actually is a level of consciousness that you do get into. I don't know, there's like
Clarity.
alpha, beta. Yeah, and that's when your mind does spark new ideas. And if you're always going so hard, your mind actually can't get into that relaxed state. It's sort of like a meditative state, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just trying to go either really hard or really slow.
And finding that balance. We need both.
We definitely need both. Yeah.
Before we wrap today, it's time for her edit. So I'm going to ask you some quick design-related questions. Can you remember the first design-related purchase you ever made?
This one's funny because I'm guilty that when I was living at home, I begged for the hay slit side tables.
Oh, yeah, very nice.
And then when I moved out, I pinched it and I took it with me. So I can't say I bought that, but that is like, especially, growing up when you're doing your share house thing and all that. That was my one designer piece
nice
that I
piece
was
of
obsessed.
furniture,
So, yeah, my little hay side table, which is now Charlie's bedside table. I don't know, he got it because there's only one.
Yeah. That's still going strong though.
Yeah,
that was
still
a
going strong.
good purchase. Obviously doing, design and looking at furniture and things all the time. If you're anything like me, I've got a very long list of coveted items.
List, yeah.
Is there anything in particular that you have your eye on at the minute?
Oh, yeah. The very first piece of furniture I fell in love with was that little fluffy Baxter Nepal chair.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And it comes in blue, white, and there's like an orangey colour.
They are gorgeous.
And I try and get one in every job so that I can just be around it. So one day, I will hopefully have that chair.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, no, they're gorgeous.
They are gorgeous.
Very gorgeous. Next travel destination, actual or aspirational?
Yeah. Going to Vietnam for our honeymoon.
Oh, amazing.
In April next year.
Oh, wonderful.
So that's exciting. Yeah, doing see a bit of, do the whole resort thing, but then go through the countryside.
Oh, beautiful.
And, hopefully get to some old sites as well.
Yeah. Have you been before?
I haven't been. No. So, yeah, very excited for that.
That'd be really interesting.
Yeah. Would love part of traveling, obviously, like the cultural side, but getting to see some old buildings and old historical sites. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
Very exciting. Favourite creative icon, living or legend?
Yeah. Hard one. Very hard. I do love Kelly Wearstler's work, and I feel like she's just really cool. Like she's
lived a wild life as well. I think she's an interesting person.
She is interesting, and I'll look at a project and think it's so amazing, and then I see it's Kelly Wearstler. I'm like, oh yeah, again, yeah, she is cool. Otherwise, I went to the French Impressionist exhibition, and in school I always looked at those sort of artists. And those guys were really cool. They just sat there and painted and had a ciggy in their mouth. And it's like, I think that's a complete different type of creative, like that really relaxed, like that artist, a bit weird, bit crazy.
It's sort of funny. I remember when I grew up in New Zealand and we were in Melbourne visiting some friends, and my parents took me to the NGV, and there was a Monet hanging there, which I'm pretty sure at the time, I don't think I'd seen one before. I remember sort of looking at it, and my parents were like, this artwork is amazing, and it took me a while to really understand how groundbreaking that had been at the time. When you're younger, I thought, oh, okay. Well, I could see the disappointment on their face. This is an amazing artwork.
Because you think it's just like a painting of flowers.
But as I've got older, you start to understand that it was so progressive at the time and quite not controversial, but compared to what the sort of standard art form was.
And that's why I think they're really cool, because they just like, I'm just going to sit in my garden and paint all day. And you go, nice.
And they've stood the test of time.
Yeah. My mum got me, those like really good replicas of art that are painted. So in my bedroom, since I was little, I had this Degas ballerina.
Oh, I love.
Yeah, and I never really understood who it was, and then I started learning about the artists, and now I'm so obsessed with that painting. It's very special.
Yeah. No, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Final question.
Yeah.
If your star was a celebrity, who would it be?
Yeah. I think Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. I'll say the Olsen twins, but in their later years.
In the row.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just really. And because I always come back to just that, I think it was Picasso that said something is perfect when there's nothing else you can take away.
Yeah.
And, you know, you get really into your designs and into what you're doing. And same with their style. They always look so well put together, but they're not wearing too much. It's always a really understated outfit, but just so bold and powerful.
Considered.
Yeah, and considered. So I think that's what I at least strive to be.
Yeah.
Is them.
It's a good point of motivation.
Yeah. So same with interiors. Like you could have one hero finish or one hero feature and you feel really grounded in that space.
Yeah.
Not overwhelmed, I think. Yeah.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today,
Thank
Isabella.
you.
I've so enjoyed
nice
our
to
chat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's really really nice to have the opportunity to talk with someone else about the industry and been great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.